How do you say hi in Bulgarian?
Zdravej.
Sir?
Zdravej.
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 Is she right?
Yeah, you need to work on your pronunciation.
Hi, I'm Amber from Ample Studio, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living abroad. I've been living in Korea now for 6 years, and I'm originally from the States.
Hi everybody, my name is Todor. I'm from Bulgaria and I've been living in South Korea for the past 3 years. So this is the first time I've been living abroad for such a long time, and it's been going well so far so good.
Okay. Can you say hi in Korean?
안녕하세요.
Are you teasing him?
Hi everyone, my name is Jourdana and I'm also from Bulgaria. However, I moved to live abroad when I was 18 years old, and first I lived in Austria, in Vienna, where I graduated university. And then last year in September I came to live in South Korea, and I've been living here ever since. And it's also been quite well.
At my university, there was like a large Korean population there, and I was working to help them for 3 years. I was kind of in charge of that program, leading orientation, and I started tutoring there as well. And my major is education, so when I graduated, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I decided to come to Korea and try teaching here. And I was dating my husband at the time, so that gave me extra motivation to come.
Okay, so before I came to South Korea, I was a student back in Bulgaria, and my major was Korean studies. So I studied Korean culture, language, history for 4 years, and I wanted to come to South Korea for a longer period of time, and I decided to come and do my master's degree here in South Korea. So actually, I just recently graduated from university.
Congrats.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna stay here for a little bit more. I haven't decided until when I'm gonna stay in South Korea, but for the time being, I'm gonna be here. I guess same as Amber.
1 year at a time.
Yeah.
Well, my parents actually kind of pushed me towards that direction to move abroad because the situation in Bulgaria is not the best situation ever, so they kind of pushed me towards going and studying abroad, getting a better education, finding a better job. So that's why I moved first closer to home, which is Austria, because it's only 1 hour flight away. And I also studied Korean studies, but in Austria, and basically it was the same thing that Todor also studied. And after that I also decided to come to Korea because it was kind of the most logical decision that I could make. I'm really hoping that I can stay here longer, because I really love it so far, even more than Austria, and I really don't want to leave Korea. So I have 1 more year left until I graduate from my university, which is Korea University, and Todor is from Yonsei.
I used to be from Yonsei University.
He used to be.
But Yonsei forever.
I'm totally unbiased, guys. Good luck.
Okay, what's your overall impression of living abroad?
My overall impression of living abroad is that it is a very good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone that has the opportunity to do that, because it teaches you a lot, and you learn to be motivated, you learn how to be alone, how to deal with situations on your own.
How to deal with
What's the biggest issue you
The biggest challenge maybe I have faced living abroad, I would say administrative issues in Korea, because they could be quite complicated, as in any other country of course. But I remember when I had to register for my bank account, for example, paying the bills every month and stuff like that. So fortunately I had good Korean friends who helped me do this, so I didn't have any major issues. But then again, it could be a struggle for people coming here for the first time, especially if you're not that familiar with the language and how things work. So, yeah.
The first 3 years were really hard for me because I came here to work primarily, and I wasn't that aware of the culture, and I didn't have a good knowledge of the language when I first came. So it was pretty shocking at first. So I think my experience was pretty stressful. But after about 3 years, I kind of adjusted, and after I adjusted, I started seeing things, from a more positive light. So now I think living abroad is really good, but at the same time I would caution someone like me to kind of prepare for it well before you go, I think.
You think living in Korea like changed you as a person?
Definitely changed me as a person. There are a lot of benefits of that. Like, I see things from a broader perspective now. I have a wide variety of tools. So I have the tools, for problem solving and seeing the world from my home culture. And I have new tools that I gained by living in Korea about the way of thinking about something or doing something or getting something done. There are many ways that people go about daily life, like in the whole world. And since you have like 2 experiences of that, you have extra tools to draw from, like no matter what you want to do, so that's really good. The downside is that when I go home, I don't feel like that's my home. And when I'm in Korea, I don't feel like that's my home either. So I don't know, I'm a citizen of nowhere, so that's one of the difficult things for me, I think.
Okay. What about you?
Correction, you're a
Yeah.
citizen of everywhere. Think of it in a positive way. I have become more mature for sure. I can cook alone now, and I can wash my own clothes, and
That's a big
good thing.
achievement. You're
Well,
doing.
that was actually very hard to do when I was 18 and I first went to Austria. I was literally eating pizza. It was 70 cents, frozen pizza every day, or pasta with tomato sauce. Like, that was the first few months because I was just so bad. So that's the thing that you learn to do when you live alone, and that could be good later on when you want to have a family and, take care of someone else as well. So, you kind of learn that, because if you live with your parents, your mom is always going to cook for you. So that's one thing. And I was actually very shy at the beginning. And when I started living abroad, I started to kind of get more open and meeting more people. And now I'm actually a very talkative, friendly person, I think. So that kind of changed a lot, because I was very closed and shy. I couldn't even talk to a group of people all at once or all together. So that is definitely something that has changed a lot. And as I already mentioned, I learned to do a lot of things on my own, such as administration, which sucks, but you have to do it. Or going to the doctors, or I don't know, just basically everything. And yeah.
What's the biggest difference between living in Australia and living in
Austria.
What did I say?
Australia.
What's the biggest difference between living in Austria and Korea?
I'm sorry if any Austrian people would be watching this. I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that, but my personal opinion is that most Austrians, not all, are a little bit cold, and it's really hard to make friends. They are friendly, and if you need help, they would help you, but when it comes to making friends or making close acquaintances, it is very, very difficult. So I had mostly foreigner friends in Austria. And in Korea, it's just so easy to make friends. I don't know why. Just people are very friendly. Please introduce me. Oh my god, those looks, what happened? In Korea, I think until now I've witnessed a lot of positive sides. As Todor also said, the negative sides, maybe sometimes some old ajashi or ajuma would be a little bit, I don't know, rude. Yeah, just rude, like pushing me a little bit or staring at me, not in a good way.
But I think they push everybody. I don't think it's just for...
Probably. But maybe get some angry stares from time to time. But in general, I would say that I don't have really bad experiences in Korea.
Well, I have traveled to many countries before coming to Korea, and I would say that if you move to a country with a culture which is very different from your home country, you should definitely do some research before, and you should try to understand as many of the differences and peculiarities of this culture, because you don't want to be in an uncomfortable or awkward situation with the people there. So just make sure to research and to respect the cultural differences when you go there, because this is the thing that's gonna make you adjust more, and it's gonna make this transition to living in another country much easier for you.
what's the most weird thing which you cannot?
Oh my god.
understand?
I don't know where to start. So, student life is very easy. Student life is very fun and very easy. Once you graduate and you start transitioning to actually living in a country, finding a job, and all of those things, you should be very prepared for the differences in the working culture, for example. European working culture, or even if we generalize a little bit more, Western working culture and East Asian working culture are pretty much different. So there are a lot of written and unwritten rules that you need to follow. So you should be prepared for this.
Or what's your unwritten rules?
You know, a lot of small things that nobody really says to you directly, but you should think about them all the time. Like, 눈치 받으잖아요. It's about eating and maybe I noticed that Korean people, when they drink something from a bottle, they don't actually put their lips on the what do you call it?
The rim of the bottle.
On the rim of the bottle, but they just kind of like just put it here on their mouth and they just pour the liquid inside their mouth, which is different than what we do in Europe. In Europe, usually if you offer a drink to your friends, you can just like put the lips on the rim of the bottle and just drink from it. But it's kind of weird because in Korea, at the same time, people share food all the time.
That's true.
And for example, they put spoons and forks into the same plate or big bowl, but at the same time, they don't want to put the lips on the rim of the bottle. So this was something that really confused me in the beginning. Literally.
I never thought that before.
I never thought of that either.
Well, it's not exactly culture difference, but the thing that really shocked me and I found really weird in Korea was that a lot of people look very different on their photos than they do in real life.
Because of filters.
Photoshop.
Filters on the
Like,
camera.
I was just shocked. And not only girls but also guys, because like in Western culture, the guys they just do normal photos and they don't put any filters or like they are not very professional. And then Korean guys, most of the Korean guys, their photos can look very different.
You guys think drinking culture is also different from?
I think so.
I think me and Jourdana would say that it's pretty similar to Bulgarian drinking culture. Because Bulgarian people, they also drink a lot, and we drink a lot of different types of alcohol. We drink lighter alcohol such as beer and wine, but also stronger alcohol such as Bulgarian traditional alcohol or vodka, whiskey, gin. So I think both Bulgarian people and Korean people love to drink. And I guess people from the US too, they like to party a lot.
But one big difference that I noticed at least 6 years ago when I was there, my impression was drinking with your coworkers could be seen as a little bit unprofessional. We usually don't want to reveal the fact that we drink a lot in the workplace. That's seen as a very unprofessional thing, in my opinion. I'm not sure if I'm correct on this or not. But yeah, we wouldn't have drinking meetings with our coworkers, I don't think. I would say definitely just do it. Try it. It could be hard. You should know it could be hard. But I think endurance is really important. So if you really want to make it work, even though you might have a few really difficult years, if you endure, you can eventually adjust and you can find a new norm. So that's really good. And like I mentioned before, also preparing well before you go abroad would be really good, I think.
What do we need to prepare?
Just anything you can. I think knowing as much as you can about the culture, trying to learn the language will definitely help you when you get there.
Well, the same as Amber, because it is true that at the beginning it could be really hard. It was also very hard for me at the beginning when I went to Austria, and it took me at least 1 or 2 years to get used to the change and meet new people and everything. So just really don't give up and stay positive. Try to make as much as friends as possible because they really do help, and try and learn a few things of the culture before you go somewhere because it's helpful.
I'm gonna say just go for it, and as we said already, just do your research, prepare as much as possible, learn the language if possible, try to meet as many people as possible in the place that you're going, and just enjoy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Have you ever been asked out in Korea? from Korean guys.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I can tell you a story from my experience. Last year, I was working in a restaurant in Korea while I was a student at university. I was a part-time worker. I was serving in a restaurant. And after my shift ended, one of the girls that I had served before during my shift, she came back, and as I was cleaning the floor with a mop, I was mopping the floor, she gave me a piece of paper with her phone number.
Wow.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yes.
Did you call her?
I might have.
You don't
I might have.
Okay, that tells me a lot. Some people have approached me on the street and asked me for my phone number.
Oh my
or-
God, really?
Yeah,
Lucky.
sometimes. No, I mean, sometimes it's a little creepy.
They say in English?
Yeah, they usually try to speak in English. They say they want to be your friend or
Okay.
something.
So today we talk about living abroad and the pros and cons, the challenges about living abroad. So thank you a lot for listening and see you next time.
Bye.